This presentation might go a little bit over 30 minutes because there's just so much to share. But if y'all have to go, that's totally cool. Okay, so I'm looking at chat. Are y'all seeing the presentation okay? Okay, cool. Shall say yes. Okay, so hello, my name is Sam Harlow. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am a liaison librarian for community and therapeutic recreation, human development and family studies, kinesiology, public health education, specialized education. And I'm going to talk today about sports resources for research and beyond. So, what we offer here at the library about sports. So, I thought I'd share with you some sports I play. So I actually played tennis pretty competitively as an adult. So I've started playing again. I played pretty competitively as a junior, and then I started again in 2020 as a way to get outside, and I enjoy that a lot. I'm on teams. I do clinics and stuff like that throughout town, so that keeps me pretty busy. I used to work at a bicycle shop, so I bike a lot, and my husband and I really like to take bike trips. So here's a picture of me on the Virginia Capitol Trail. My husband's taking the picture. It's really a beautiful trail that stays off the road. I'm very afraid of cars. I have two young kids, a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. They will love that they are in a recording. But they love to watch sports. We love to go to sports games. Here's us at the Greensboro Swarm game. So they play. The 10-year-old plays basketball. The 7-year-old starting soccer. They both swim. And they both play some tennis, but they want to switch to pickleball since pickleball is so hot right now. I watch a lot of sports, particularly with my husband. We're both pretty into it. The only ones I don't like are NASCAR and car racing in general and golf, but no judgment. Everyone has their stuff, and even my husband does watch those two things. So I can ask him if you have any questions about it. Okay, so we're going to cover the four main resources that I recommend if you're doing any kind of research related to sports at UNCG. So we're going to cover Sport Discus first, Human Kinetics, PubMed, and then SBRNet, which is a new resource we have on business data focused on sports. Okay, so some overall notes as we get going. So the library website is going to be the way I enter all of these resources, but for the sake of time for this presentation, I have linked them all in this presentation. But you need to go through the library website, and then under the catalog box, there's a link called Library Databases, which then take you into these resources that I'm covering today. It's important to go through the library website and then into databases and click on the links that way, because that's how we connect you to our stuff and they make sure that you go to UNCG. The way our contracts works is through proxies. We have to prove that you are connected to UNCG because of how contracts or our negotiation, contracts with the vendors. That's being said, we do recommend downloading PDFs when able, but a lot of stuff you need to have a link to it, something called a permalink or a stable link. So every resource works differently, and I'm going to try to show you today where you would find the permalinks for all these things. But if available, especially for peer-reviewed articles, go ahead and grab the PDF if you can find it. The permalink is what you'd want to use for anything in Canvas. And again, we'll talk about that for all the resources today as we go. So be sure to contact your liaison librarian for any concerns or requests about the collection. These are things that we have access to currently. If you have suggestions or questions or any ebooks you would want us to buy, if it's possible, going through your liaison librarian is recommended. And we are currently going through a library renovation. So the tower is not available if you have any questions or concerns about print books, physical books in our collection right now, let me know. I'm not going to cover that today. These are all electronic resources. Updating your liaison. So check with your liaison librarian about that, or again, you can ask me questions at the end. Okay, so we're going to start with Sport Discus, which is an EBSCO database product. So Sport Discus, according to their website, is the leading bibliographic database for sports and sports medicine research. It's a product of EBSCO, which is a large company that owns multiple subject-specific databases. So you can search Sport Discus as well as with psychology databases, interdisciplinary databases, allied health databases. The only thing to keep in mind about Sport Discus is that 4 users can be in it concurrently at a time. This is typically not an issue except when I am doing instruction on Sport Discus, like maybe today. or when I go into a classroom and everyone's trying to get on it at once. If you have any issues with this, we have a library chat service on our library website that is open until 9 or 10, I think Sunday through Thursday, maybe Monday through Thursday now, and during the weekends, during the day. So definitely chat us if you have access issues, or you can, again, email your liaison librarians and we can try to figure something out. Okay, so I'm going to go into Sport Discus now. Again, remember, you want to go to the library website, database page, and then find Sport Discus either by going to the S section or typing in Sport Discus in the search bar in the upper right. But here's what Sport Discus looks like. So EBSCO recently moved to a new interface. So if you've used Sport Discus or other EBSCO products like Academic Search Complete, CINAHL, PsycInfo in the past, it might look different to you. It just started in, I think, January of this year, maybe December. But it does look a little bit different, but it does overall work the same. So all library databases like keywords. So let's say we want to search for tennis, and then let's say injuries. I got 2017 results. So that's a lot. And I haven't used any filters. So filters used to be over here on the left, and notice I could have filtered right away. But also you can click on all filters now over here. And then on the right, your filters show up. So here I can see that I could limit it to peer reviewed, see the publication, certain publication dates, so on and so on. I do not recommend limiting it to full text because here at UNCG, we do have a connection to interlibrary loan, where if we don't have the full text available through our databases or catalog or wherever you're searching, you can get it through interlibrary loan. If you use this filter, you're limiting yourself, so you cannot get the interlibrary loan. So do not use the full text filter. But if you want peer reviewed, you can use that. Let's say I only want the past 10 years, tennis injuries could change. And now we're down from over 2,000 to around 399, which shows you that databases, though they have a lot of peer-reviewed stuff, we recommend it for that. They have magazine articles, streaming film, and more as well, sometimes dissertations, so on and so on. So another let's go beyond the filters is that you can click on the database you're in, and it will show you the full suite of tools for the EBSCO databases. So even though I'm searching for tennis injuries, that might relate to other things, other databases. So as a librarian, I know that CINAHL stands for, I think, Comprehensive Index of Nursing and Allied Health Literature or something like that, but it is Nursing and Allied Health. So I'm going to add that in since maybe they would have some stuff about tennis injuries as well. Notice that if your sport topic relates to education, we have education source, and ERIC stands for, again, an education view, so on and so on. And then also PsycInfo is a big one you could add it to, as well as Academic Search Complete. I'll go ahead and add that in because Academic Search Complete is interdisciplinary. So if I select that, like I have found in this new interface, the select takes a little bit. So now I'm searching 3 databases, and we went from like 2,000-ish to 5,000-ish. 5,000-ish, that sounds funny. So if I go back here, I did lose my filters, so I could go back in here and then add back in my filters and so on and so on. You can click here under databases and see that I'm still getting the most hits in Sport Discus, right? Since it is about sports physiology, sports exercise. But I'm also getting some hits, right, in Academic Search Complete and CINAHL, so it's probably good that we added that in, particularly if you're a grad student really trying to write a long lit review and so on and so on. Notice that some things aren't in English. There is a filter for English if you're getting a ton of stuff not in English, or of course you don't have to use that. Or they used to have one, publication, publisher, age, gender. Maybe they got rid of the language filter. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. But you can also just skip over them. And let's say you want one, you just click on the title of the article, and then you can share it with yourself through this little share button. So the new interface of EBSCO Complete, you can grab this link at the top, and this is actually a permalink, but it is a super long link. So I actually recommend going to share, and then you can, save it to your OneDrive, but you can also create a link. It's still kind of long, but it's not as long as the one at the top. You can also email it to yourself as well. This will email you this section right here. But also sometimes the PDF is right here, and sometimes you need to click check for full text, and it will take you out into our library system, online system, and it will then say view full text, and you'll keep going until you find a page with a PDF. And I'm going to click again. So you can see here, sometimes it takes multiple clicks, but here it is. Excuse me. And you can see here now I have this article on core training on postural stability for preventing injuries in tennis, which for me as a tennis player sounds very useful. But now here I can grab the PDF, also grab a permalink here if you want as well. But again, the PDF is typically your best bet. So that is sport discus, and you can let me know in the chat if you have any questions about it. Sorry, I just got a text from my daughter's teacher that her stomach hurts, so I'll try to keep this concise. I don't see any questions, but let me know if anything comes up with sport discus. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is human kinetics. We have a couple of different options. Okay, so there's 3 packages, is what I call them, of human kinetics at UNCG. So we have an e-journals package, which includes 26 sports, exercise, and human kinetics journals. This is a much smaller set of journals than a library database like Sport Discus and PubMed. So I do not recommend only going there, but they are their own, set of journals, so they might not be indexed in Sport Discus and PubMed. So definitely check it out. But don't expect the same kind of large results as Sport Discus and PubMed, depending on your research on sports. We also have a suite of ebooks. There's around 150 ebooks in there, which are very textbook-like. So if you're looking for an online textbook that would be free for your students, I definitely recommend it. There are also some videos. And then a part of this ebook package is that we have a new section within this ebooks core collection called Healthcare in Sport and Education. There's around 39 ebooks and 550 videos on healthcare in sport and education. Here at UNCG, we do have an athletic training program, and these ebooks and videos are very relevant to that. So I would definitely check that out if you have a connection to the MSAT program here at UNCG. So the journal, again, remember to get access, full text access to the journal, the Human Kinetic Journal package, go to UNCG website, UNCG Libraries website, databases, and then it's under Human Kinetics e-journals. So here again, you want to keep your keywords even broader maybe than sport discus. Like I put in just tennis, and I got 1,743, which is actually pretty good. So even if I want to add in here injury, right, or injuries, you could use the or and keyword function. I got that down to 718. You can use other filters here, right? So let's say I only want it in the last 5 years this time. That got it way down, 507 items. And then once you see an article you like, similar to how Sport Discus works, you click on it. And the nice thing about going through a journal package like this is that you can just download the PDF right here. Again, this link does work. I tested it the other day because it is proxied. It might pull a login, but I do recommend downloading the PDF to be the safest. You can also get a citation here. You can create an account that you don't have to, that's totally optional, but create an account and save things, etc., create search links, etc. So again, I really like this package, especially if your research is within kinesiology or sports at all. They do have a lot of great stuff. So this is e-journals, right? So these are peer-reviewed journal articles, but these ebooks are ebooks. And again, they're very textbook-like, and I have found them to be great. I know that they're being used in some CTR and kinesiology classes that I work with. So you can, of course, search across the library platform, but I have found this to be actually a very finicky search. So I do recommend that you can go straight to the library and browse their collection. You can go here and look by topic, you can look at their videos, but if you go to ebooks, and then it shows you everything in the core collection. And again, I have found this to be a little bit funky. So my tip for you is if you're into this, to actually look to do a Control F, right? And then you have a keyword like coach, and you can go here and look at everything they have about coaching, which would of course be like kinesiology, sports related. Note that it is a very, again, human kinetic related, but they do have stuff on like career development and recreation, parks and tourism, just really a lot of different things. Some of it more physiological based, and some of it, right, more kind of education, physical education based, sports psychology, so on and so on. So there's a lot of really great stuff in here, just to kind of show you. It's wide variety. There's over 100. So let's say you want this one, you're teaching a sports coach class and you decided, yes, this is great. I want to link to it. This link right here is a permalink because it has proxies in it that shoots you through. I did test this the other day, but we have seen instances in the last couple of years of sometimes the links kind of start changing the more you click around. So if you have any access issues within Canvas, please let me know. There is not a way to download this as a PDF. You have to go through a link. So you would link to this in Canvas. You can share with yourself through email and it will send you a link. And ideally, again, that should be like a permalink for your students. But again, if you have any issues with this, please email your liaison librarian and let them know what's going on so that we can work within the system. But similar to the, even though these are not like peer-reviewed journal articles, they're again more textbook-like. You can get a citation here. You can print portions of them, again, I don't recommend that for the environment, but you could try that, so on and so on. And then this is the section within the ebooks, like I said. So that actually we could search in here just based on that new collection. So if you go up to the top, I think I'm way down. So you can see here, you can search just within healthcare and sports exercise, as well as this one. But the core collection does have a lot of stuff in there as well. You can see here, these are more like kind of athletic training, sport rehabilitation, again, physiological base. Okay. So next we're going to go to PubMed. So PubMed is actually a medical citation index. It's freely available online. So if you Google PubMed, it's going to look a lot like our UNCG version, but it's very important, again, I keep saying this throughout the webinar, that you go to library.uncg.edu, databases, and then PubMed. Again, that's what hooks you back to our system so that you never hit paywalls, and it hooks you back to our system so that if we don't have it through UNCG, we can hook you to interlibrary loan. So this link right here is through the UNCG, so even though I'm not going that route, I have made sure it's right. And one of the tools here is that it says tool equals UNCG lib. PubMed is made by the National Library of Medicine. So it's made by librarians that focus on health sciences. So their search engine is actually pretty advanced. So again, we can do our classic tennis injuries and get a lot of results because again, it is medical based. It's even though it's not sport focused, it would have anything related to sports and medicine. So anything related to sports, exercise, physiological. If your research is within sports psychology, you're going to have some stuff in here as well because psychology is classified as medical. And then also it's going to not have a lot though on like sports and education. So if you're looking for sports education, physical education, more social science-based sports articles, I wouldn't try PubMed first, or really don't rely on it heavily. So their filters work over here. So we can do again, let's do about 10 years. And then these are medical articles, and they mostly are peer-reviewed articles. So you can't filter by peer review, but you can filter by article type. So you can see here, some of them are not peer-reviewed, right? Like books and documents, news, newspaper articles, but most of them are. So again, there wouldn't be a peer-reviewed filter, but let's say you want a systematic review, a randomized control trial, a meta-analysis, that you can do the different types of articles that way. And so on and so on. They do have a gender filter, an age filter, if you're looking at certain age groups, and so on. If you are a heavy user of PubMed, like I am in my research and as a librarian, sometimes it remembers your filters. So make sure it's not accidentally pulling a filter that you don't want, particularly related to gender and age, because I work with a lot of different students. Sometimes I'm like, this doesn't seem right. And it's because I left some filter in there because it remembers me every time I go in. You do not have to create an account in PubMed, but if you want to, there it is. And then again, similar to what we keep saying, right? Once you find an article you like, you're going to go in here to find the PDF. We do recommend trying the UNCG link first because, again, this takes you back into our system so that if we don't have it, we can get it for you through interlibrary loan. But similar to what I was showing you before, you're going to just keep clicking right until you find it. And sometimes this happens, right? I'm kind of glad this happened for a webinar. Just go back and try another link. And if it doesn't have that, you can report a broken link. This does go to live people who can help you, and they will email you back and help you find the PDF that way as well. Another option, and I'll fill in the report broken link thing later, but another option is that you can try to see if it's available for free online and try that way, and here it is. So just because our library system might not be working, you can try different things, but we do recommend trying the UNCG one first. So, but here I am on this article with a PDF. And then another nice thing about PubMed's newish interface, I think it's been around about five-ish years now. What is time? They do show you similar articles. So if you're like, yes, this is perfect for my research, similar articles, as well as who has cited it, right? So maybe it's from 2020, you can see here who has cited it in the last 5 years, and what other topics come up. What are their references? What did they cite? As well as something called mesh terms. PubMed uses medical subject headings to classify their searching. So it's really useful if you're doing research on a certain sport or sport injury or medical sports situation, because then they can show you here that, like, let's say I am looking at tennis injuries as a part of my research. Elbow injuries might be something. Tennis injuries is its own classification. Arm injuries, so on and so on. There is a sport designation within MESH as well, and there are ways within MESH to see trends. So if you're looking for trends within sports medicine research, PubMed is a great place to go. And I'm happy to show people that if they want it on their particular research. Okay. So the last thing I was going to talk about today is a new resource we have called SBRNet. SBRNet stands for Sports Business Research Network, and it's the industry side of sports. It includes data and reports on sports from a business point of view. So this is kind of a joint effort between Steve Kramer, our business librarian, and myself. To be clear, he definitely found it, and we met with the rep together and decided this was a good resource for both the Brighton School and any kind of sports research going on. So again, remember, you're going to go to the library website, databases, to get that UNCG full text, full resource access, since this is more of a data resource. So this is industry data, so it definitely looks more like a website, but notice here at the top, I do see this proxy thing, right? We do proxy through NC Live, so it might not say UNCG, but it does say proxy, so we're good to go. And here it says, welcome, UNCG Greensboro. So again, this is a sports business research network that includes industry data about sports. So if you go to summaries, it's going to show you summaries of data from different elements of sports. So let's go into the WNBA this time. I'll give you all a break from tennis. I do love a good WNBA game. And here it's going to show you an overall fan summary as well as a WNBA sponsorship influence index. So here that you can see they took data on the WNBA in terms of their fans in 2017, and for whatever reason they took a 3-year break. I would imagine it's due to popularity increase. And then they have been taking data on this from 2021 to 2023. So you can see here that the number of fans have increased a pretty good amount percentage-wise in the last couple of years. They do update this pretty regularly, so I imagine the 2024 data will be available within the next couple of months. You can see here like social media of WNBA fans, so on and so on. WNBA sponsorship influence. Again, note this is, again, an industry, marketing, business kind of data. So this would be if you're doing any kind of sports research on trends within the market of how the sport works, professional sport works. They also have a certain sport element. So if you wanted to go here and look at all the different sports they offer, they do show you kind of trends of the sports in America over time. So the one that the rep showed Steve and I is pickleball, to show that it has increased a lot in the last couple of years. It's like the number one growing sport in America. So from 2015 to 2023, you can see it is almost quadrupled. It's actually more than quadrupled in usage, right? Total participation. And this is, again, over core participation, casual participation. They break down by female, male, etc. Another nice thing about SBRnet is they have related news. So let's say you're doing a paper or your students are doing a paper on pickleball. You can see here the like kind of recent news about pickleball in America on overall trends, again, usually related to industry. So this is about a franchise opening in Cincinnati, in Memphis, in Cincinnati. Like when I was playing around in here yesterday, it was on Cincinnati. And now see today, there's another one about Memphis. So you can see here, it's obviously something that people are opening up franchises all over the country. So again, this is really meant for to see trends within the industry, but it's really useful in that way. And the newsstand will show you also, again, this new sports industry updates overall. So if you are using this data or want to use this data, if you go to the About section, they do explain their methodology, such as where they get it, how they survey people. So if you wanted to understand that for your research, again, here's where they're surveying. It is the United States of America, and then how they get it, and then overall results, right? So again, they have it all here in case you want to make sure that the methodology is up to the rigor of what you're trying to do with your research. And there's a lot more stuff here. Those are the main things, right? Again, with the industry data, summary, sports. There's a resource center, and it does say research papers. I did check this out. They are not peer-reviewed papers. They're more like presentations on trends within sports industry, but they are interesting if you're interested in looking at that. But again, they looked more like PowerPoints written by people in the field, or some of them were by academics, but again, not peer-reviewed articles. So don't get confused there when it says article search. But there's also podcasts if you're like looking again at a certain sport, if you want to know that, so on and so on. So there's a lot of different stuff here. Again, all related to sports industry or sports business data. And that's it. So I'm right at 12:30. I hope I didn't speak too fast. But do y'all have any questions? Again, I know we're all librarians here, but I'm happy to answer any questions y'all have. Cool. Well, I'm glad you all liked it. I don't know if anyone here is just like a fan of sports or anything. You could look up anything related to a sport you play or a sport you're interested in, or if you have a family member who is into it. I have an aunt who's really into pickleball, of course. I feel like we all probably do. Well, thanks you all for coming. I will send out the recording within the next couple of days on YouTube, as well as a link to the recording in Microsoft with the transcript, a YouTube link, the slides, in case that is relevant for y'all. And I'll see y'all soon. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.